So where are we headed to next, Deanna?
Greeley, Colorado.
And hopefully I got the right RV park because there's two called Greeley and they're right next to each other. So we'll see if I booked the right one today. So this video isn't really meant to try to convince anyone to live the RV life. Everyone lives their own life, how they choose to live it. This is just some of the reasons why we chose to live this way. Although this isn't a typical adventure video, we're still gonna go on an adventure. We're gonna take you to a cool park that we're gonna go visit in Loveland, Colorado. But we're just gonna be chatting a little bit more in this video than just showing you the scenery. So we just made it to River's Edge Natural Area here in Loveland, Colorado. Hey Blade, so why did you go RVing? Huh?
You didn't get a choice.
Why did you go RVing? He just wants to go for a walk outside. So I guess in order to tell you why we started doing the RV life, Blaze is going to make this difficult today. We're going to have to give you a little bit of a background on where we come from and kind of how it led to that particular decision. So Deanna and I kind of come from different environments, both kind of rural in our areas where we grew up, but I grew up in Indiana. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Dutchess County, New York, which is like an hour and a half north of New York City. Sorry, there's a bug in my sunglasses.
We kind of grew up with the same sort of rural area. I was about 7 miles from the nearest town. She was a bit closer than that.
Yeah.
But we both kind of had a country-esque lifestyle growing up. I didn't really travel a whole lot. I pretty much stuck to the state of Indiana while growing up and some surrounding states. You got to travel a little bit more, right?
Yeah, growing up I went to Florida, I went to California, Seattle, Canada. And then later in college, I spent a summer in Hawaii, another summer in Oklahoma doing research, and then I also went to Germany and a few other places.
I think we get the picture.
Yeah.
She traveled a lot more. So obviously our backgrounds were a little bit different, so our evolution to making the decision, I guess, kind of took different paths. I think both of us have always kind of been into the outdoors, whether that be hiking, camping, or just going out and exploring. So Deanna and I actually met while she was going to Purdue University in grad school, and I had already graduated, but I was still sticking around in the Lafayette, Indiana area at the time. We didn't start dating, however, until she moved back to New York towards her family when she got her first job, and that's a long story that we can tell some other time. But our very first date was actually driving, me from Indiana and her from New York, and meeting in Pennsylvania. So ever since we first started dating, we've always been kind of traveling to see each other.
Yeah.
Eventually, long story short, I ended up moving out to the state of New York to be with Deanna. That was another adventure in itself. Started off, you had like a 2-hour commute to the city.
Yeah. It wasn't very fun, which is kind of part of why we're RVing, but we could get to that later.
After New York, we moved to the state of Connecticut to reduce your commute.
Yeah, my company had an office in Connecticut as well, so that cut my commute down to like 30 minutes, which was so much better.
We're kind of living in a very busy area of New York and a very busy area of Connecticut. In Connecticut, we actually lived right by a train station, and the train was constantly going by, a passenger train.
Yeah.
So after living that kind of very busy suburban life, we knew we wanted to get away out to the country or something like that. We just weren't quite sure where we would end up or where we would head off to.
And how we would make it work.
Yeah. But why did we make that decision? Well, I think the very first part of that is what we were saying. We weren't really into whole crowded areas. We kind of wanted to get out away from all that craziness, try to get out more to places like this. Just get out into nature as much as we could. As you can hear, like cars in the background.
Yeah.
So the very first reason we wanted to live in the RV life, get away from craziness that is the Northeast. Or just craziness that is cities.
Yeah.
Another reason is, well, neither one of us has ever been really all that materialistic, I guess you could say. Deanna kind of started doing a bit more research into this minimalist movement.
Yeah.
You want to talk more about the minimalist movement?
I mean, it just basically is what it sounds like. It's choosing joy and adventures and more like life experiences rather than owning a lot of things and wasting your money and spending time like maintaining objects instead of getting out and seeing things.
Yeah, rather than buying a bunch of things that maybe fall apart easier, buy something that'll last a lot longer and something you can really invest into.
And something that makes you happy and serves a purpose in your life.
Not temporarily happy, but something that will continuously get you happy.
Exactly.
If it doesn't keep you happy, then you get rid of it.
Exactly.
You lose that burden in your life. So obviously the RV lifestyle kind of, you can't hold a bunch of stuff in your RV, so it kind of forces you to minimalize, and I think that has been really healthy in our lives to get rid of a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily need.
Definitely.
So also something you may know about the Northeast is it's really expensive to live there.
It is.
I'd say one of the other biggest reasons we decided to go to RV life is to save some money. Save for our retirement in the distant future.
And also, in addition to retirement, just saving more money, so maybe we could buy a home or something without too much debt at some point, which would be great.
That kind of brings us to another point. We didn't do this lifestyle until we were debt-free. There's a lot of people that jump right into this lifestyle with loads of debt, which this might be a good lifestyle to cut down debt and everything like that.
Yeah,
but
it certainly helps you pay it off.
I'll do another video on this in the future, but buying an RV is not an investment at all. So just know that as you're going into this lifestyle, if you do choose this lifestyle. Another big reason is that, as you know, we both enjoy adventuring. We kind of mentioned that earlier, but while we were in Connecticut, I think we may have explored almost every single state park in the state of Connecticut and the surrounding area in New York.
We exhausted a lot of the hiking opportunities.
Yeah, and both of us have always wanted to travel and explore the country, so why not be able to do it while you're living in your house that has wheels?
You get to see so much more that way too. Like if you were to take vacations, it would probably take you like 100 years to see all the places we're seeing.
And we pretty much travel almost every single weekend. There's sometimes we take a little break in between, travel every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or sometimes we even stay for a month around the holidays. But for the most part, we're always moving, we're always having a new backyard, getting to explore new things every single week. And last but definitely not least, I would say one of the biggest reasons we did this lifestyle is freedom. Just having freedom to kind of go do what we want, live where we want to go live. Society kind of throws on this little cage around us sometimes, trying to make us think that we have to live a certain way, do a certain type of thing, and this is, I wouldn't say it's sticking it to the man, but it's
I mean, just the fact that we're like living debt-free and kind of doing our own thing means we're not really doing what everyone else does. We're doing what makes us happy. I think that's what it's important, is everyone should find that thing and find a way to make it happen, because life is short.
Yeah, it's not like we're trying to prove ourselves to anyone in particular or anything like that. It's just, this is how we want to live, and even though a lot of people might look at us a little more strangely, it's
our life ultimately.
Yeah. So it's something we really enjoy doing, and we want to continue doing for the foreseeable future. Got a family of quackers over here. So it's been what, about a year now since we've been on the road?
Almost.
Yeah. We've switched rigs. Obviously we didn't switch rigs because we didn't like the lifestyle. We switched it because we wanted to continue on and see what else we could explore. Kind of had a trial rig to see if we really like this lifestyle, and then hopped into something bigger to do this a little bit more long term.
Yeah.
So that's some of the reasons we like to do this lifestyle. What are some of your reasons? I know a lot of you watching are weekend warriors, or some of you are actually full-time RVers as well. What are some of the reasons you like to get out and go adventure? Blaze, what are some of the reasons you like to get out and venture?
All the new sniffs.
All the new sniffs? That's one thing. Blaze is probably one of the most traveled greyhounds in this country now because we chose this lifestyle. Right, Blaze? Gets to see more than dogs may ever see and sniff more sniffs and pee in more spots than any dog has ever peed before. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this little adventure around River's Edge Nature Area here around Loveland, Colorado. This dog.
Blaze loved it.
Blaze has really enjoyed this. He's been sniffing everything, pulling in every direction. You would not know he's a 10-year-old dog. But if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like it. You can also check us out at
DnSAdventures.com.
And as always,
Adventure on.
clouds are starting to clear out a little bit so you can see those mountains. Definitely a beautiful area to go for a walk with the dog. Got our yak tracks on, get a little bit more traction. Trail's supposed to be a little icy today.